All right, this is for skills homework 2.1 or 2-1. On the front, you're just buying these things that it tells you down here and figuring up the cost. Okay, make sure you show your work on another sheet of paper and then staple it to this one. But I'm going to work this first one right here just to show you, but make sure you do your work on another sheet. All right, the first one says you buy 2 packs of plates. So you buy 2 of these. You can either do $1.70 times 2 or $1.70 plus $1.70. So that's $3.40. And a large American flag. So here's the American flag. If you buy a large one, that's $8.75. So we just add all this together and you get $12.15. And so you go down to the bottom, find 12.15 and put the letter A there. Okay, that's what you do on all of these here on the front. Just make sure you show me your work. All right, let's look at the ones on the back. Which represents 2/3 plus 1/4? Remember, whenever you're adding fractions or subtracting, you have to have a common denominator. So we need to find a number that 3 and 4 both go into. If you have trouble finding that, then write down all the numbers that 4 goes into. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. You want to stop whenever you see one that 3 goes into also. Since 3 goes into 12, that's the one we're going to use. Okay, now remember, to get from 3 to 12, we had to multiply by 4, so we have to do the same thing to the top. Okay, now do that one and then add them together. If you need to simplify after you finish, then make sure you simplify. Okay, over here, what is the value of -36 divided by -4/9? Don't forget your triangle that we talked about. So if you have 2 negatives, remember, cover up your 2 negatives to see if your answer is going to be positive or negative. So we don't want to divide fractions. So we start off with 36 over 1 divided by 4/9. Remember, this is when we do stay, change, and then flip. Okay, simplify this way, and then multiply straight across to get your answer. And don't forget, look about your signs to see if it's a positive or a negative answer. Okay, number 3, which of the following does not have a value of -5? So you're going to subtract here. You're going to divide here. You're going to multiply here. You're going to add here. Remember, if it's a negative, think about it as like you're buying something from the concession stand. If it's negative, you owe them that money. If it's a positive, that's money you have in your pocket. Here, when you're multiplying decimals, remember, you just line up the numbers and then count the numbers to the right of the decimal point at the end. Okay, and then use your triangle up here for your signs when you're multiplying and dividing. So that'll work on G and H both. Okay, and then on F, so you have 1/4 and you're taking away 5 1/4. So that means you're in the negative because you only have 1/4 and you're wanting to take away 5 1/4. So switch them around and subtract, but then you know that your answer is going to be a negative. All right, look at number 16. A line segment is 3 5/10 inches long. The segment is extended by 3/4 of an inch. What is the length after the extension? If you're going to extend something, that means you're going to lengthen it, make it longer. You're going to add to it. So you can either change this to a fraction or change this to a decimal. You got to get them to where they're both either fractions or they're both decimals. I would probably try and get them both fractions since your answer choices are in fractions. So 3 5/10 plus 3/4. I would simplify here and then find a common denominator and add. And last one, Skip likes to jog as part of his exercise routine. On Tuesday, he jogged 3 1/6 miles. On Wednesday, he jogged 2 2/3 miles. And on Friday, he jogged 2 5/12 miles. How many miles did Skip jog on those 3 days? So we are adding them all together. So before we can do that, they all have to have a common denominator. So you want to look and see if any of these numbers can be your common denominator. So you got to find a number that all three will go into. After you do that, don't forget, like we did up on number 13, whatever you multiply the bottom number by, the denominator, you have to multiply the numerator by the exact same thing. And then once you have the new fractions, then you just keep the denominator the same and add your numerators and add your whole numbers, and then simplify if you can. Okay, good luck.